guns blazing, and like it's the biggest game of the year, because it is. It is the biggest game of the year. It's our first one.
We talked with Jamie yesterday, and he was talking about the relationship he had with Andre and how they're really close. How important is it to have two backs like that who are kind of unselfish and kind of have a close relationship on and off the field? I
think it's important that you have unselfishness on your team. I really do. I think that we talk about earning it, effort, accountability, doing what's right, and nourishing the concept of team and family. And that's a huge component of a championship football team. You show me a championship team, I'll show you a team that's got some unselfishness on it. And that's just the bottom line, because it's all about team. Here's two really good backs that support each other. I love to watch them practice. I mean, they're just blue collar, practice hard, tough, coach them hard. It don't matter. There's no prima donna, and either one of them guys, they make each other better. They get happy for each other when something good happens, and that's a really good situation. They both know that, hey, they need each other. They recognize that, and I think that those days of just one guy nowadays being the guy, even last year, that was why it was such a great experience for Jamie and Andre. Even with CJ, I mean, it was pretty obvious that Andre and Jamie had a huge impact on our season last year, because we had to do so many different things with CJ. When we rested him, it was usually, on offense, because special teams, he was so involved in passing game and so forth. But running the football, we would rest him with Andre and Jamie, and I think both of those guys grew up from that experience. And the fact that they get along, I think, sets a good example to the rest of their teammates.
Dabo, can you talk about Catanzaro and what you saw out of him in the preseason, and maybe your comfort level with him going in as your starter?
80-something%. That's what he made in camp. So, I mean, it's just, he's kicked from everywhere. We've tried everything. Different holders, different snappers, different groups. We've rolled them. Everybody's had equal opportunity, and he just flat out won the job. I mean, and really wasn't even close. So I'm really proud of him, because again, here's a young guy that has not played yet, and I'm sure he's going to be pretty nervous when he runs out there for the first time and kicks it through those uprights. But he's a really focused young man. He really is, and he's been that way since the day he got here. Not a lot of monkey business with him. I mean, he just is about his job all the time and very dialed in every time I see him, and glad to see him take advantage of his year as a red shirt. He got stronger, and I think just mentally stronger as well as physically. But I expect him to keep on doing what he's been doing. I mean, he's been extremely consistent. That's what I said the other day. I was asking about him. I was like, shoot, if he's anywhere close to what he's done in practice, he'll lead the country. I mean, he's been outstanding. So I expect him to get off to a good start.
Typically, when we ask you about special teams related things, it has to do with either replacing a Spiller or Ford as a return guy, or the kicking situation. But in general, I get a sense that special teams have become, in your tenure, very important, and because of the way that you have a coordinator who, he did it for a little while, but it just seems like things have tightened up in that area.
Well, we put a lot of emphasis on special teams. I mean, you can win games, or you can lose games. And we try to choose to win games in special teams, and we do a lot of stuff as a staff when it comes to that. We devote a lot of. We don't just talk it. I mean, we walk it. We do a lot of. We have a lot of meeting time devoted to special teams. Big chunks of our practice. We're very committed. We believe in our routine as far as how we go about game planning and installing. We use our best players. Anybody's. Hey, Coach Powell gets first pick, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. It's the biggest, and you hear the players will tell you, if you're on that punt team, that's the most important play of the game. There's not many offensive plays you're going to get 40 yards in one snap. You know, it's a great offensive play. It's the biggest play of the game. If you're on that field goal team or field goal block or punt return, whatever it is, and that's got to be your mentality, and that's my challenge to Coach Pound. If the guy doesn't have that mentality, let's get him off, and let's find the guy that does, because you got to be sold out on special teams, because you literally win or lose. And if you just break it down, I mean it's 25 to 35 snaps in a ball game. That's a lot of plays. That's a lot of plays. So you know, we've got to make sure that we've got great emphasis from week to week, and we do that. Coach Powell does a great job, and our whole staff. I mean, we don't just put it all on him. I mean, he does a great job of coordinating it, but you know, we make sure that he's got a lot of eyes helping him, in particular on game day, so that we have good information if something happens, or to try to prevent something from happening.
Along those lines, last year the average starting field position was like the 37 or something like that, and for pretty obvious reasons. Might you think differently offensively if you don't have that production this year? Because I don't know if you can expect that out of the guys necessarily right off the bat. I mean, but will your offensive philosophy be any different at the start of the series, maybe than it was last year? Have you even taken that into account at this point?
Well, I think that we're going to hopefully, you know, and CJ was awesome, and Jacoby was awesome as a return guy. But you know, there's a lot of times, you know, if you watch it, they weren't even touched. Somebody's got to be blocking. You know, somebody's got to be blocking, and not enough credit goes to those other 10 guys on the field. I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, you go back and watch those kicks several times, and that's a credit to the other 10 guys out there. So we work hard in our return blocking. We work hard in our protection. Obviously, a skilled guy has an opportunity to make us better. But I think those guys take a lot of pride. I think Marcus Gilchrist is going to be outstanding. I really do. I think our return game will be very good. We may not, you know, lead the country with four. What do we have? 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns last year. I mean, that, you know, that's you get a guy like Spiller, you give him a little crease and he can go take it the distance. But I think the biggest thing offensively is wherever our field position is, you know, we've just got to do a great job of moving the chains and you know, making first downs. You know, last year we might score in 3 plays. It might take us 6 or 7, but that's okay. The result's still the same. And you know, so we'll continue to do what we do, but instead of running one for 50, we might only get 25 or 30, and then we'll reload and go from there. That's just that's probably the biggest difference that you may see.
Who are some other guys besides Marcus that are going to be